Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Fulton Street Beats. Once again, we have an unboxing of a Harley Benton for you today. Now, this is not going to be your regular guitar. This is a bass guitar. This is the Harley Benton TB-70VS. And the TB stands for, you guessed it, Thunderbird. That is right. We have a really, supposedly, really cool representation of a famous guitar brand that is at a fraction of the cost. We'll get into the price a little bit later, but I will tell you this is B stock, and this is my first B stock, well, guitar from Harley Benton ever. If you guys saw my last unboxing, with the Les Paul style guitar over here on the wall, the SC500, you'll know that it wasn't, well, it had a lot of flaws, and that was a first from Harley Benton for me, getting a guitar with a lot of flaws. I have since fixed it. Harley Benton's customer service was fantastic for me, first rate. So they proved themselves, and I couldn't ask for more. So, and now we have a guitar on the wall that I put a lot of work into that, well, plays and sounds and looks a lot better. But let's get into this bass guitar because that's what you all came to see. So this is B stock. So let's unbox this. Let me cut into this box here. So we're seeing this for the first time. You're going to see it for the first time, as am I. There we are. And let's see what they do here. I'm just curious about their B stocks. What do they put on these? Because there is a sticker they put on the end of these. And let me put on my glasses here. So this is a first. So if you guys haven't ordered B stock, stick around. B stock, Harley Benton TB-70 Deluxe. This is mahogany, by the way. I'm going to give you the information on this guitar here in a little bit, but let's unbox this here. I don't have a lot of room in the studio, and that's about to change. So some very interesting things going on here. So right away, foam padding on top. Looks great. Pull out this here. And we have our Thomann, checked by Thomann 2562. Okay, so we have our cards. I like that they're at least checked. Not that it means anything, because sometimes they slip through the cracks, but what I am seeing initially here is a really cool looking Thunderbird bass through the plastics. Very well packaged, by the way. Although it's a good thing Thomann double packages their guitars and double boxes them, because man, UPS plays havoc with your boxes. This inside box is great. Oh, look at this little candy. We have do not eat that, and then we have a heavier duty cable than I'm used to seeing come with guitars, and our truss rod adjustment tool, aka Allen wrench. And then let's unbox this here. I'm gonna put this box out of the way so we have some room. We do have our Rescue My Guitars decal in here. Boom. Put that with the rest of them. I think they have other ones than that out, but I always seem to get those ones. So Harley Benton, I would love to get a different sticker than that one. So let's get this out of the way here. All right. There we go. Okay, so let's start with the headstock here, and we're gonna put my glasses back on for this one because I really want to inspect this very well. Being B stock, is this going to be a pile, or is this going to be something that's usable for the studio here? Okay, that appears to be a graphite nut. I could be wrong. It's cut well, so let's start there. I don't see any blemishes on the headstock, and they said black hardware. This is not black hardware. This is black nickel. This is nickel hardware, and it's quite beautiful. If you guys can see that, I don't see. There's no scratches on the headstock anywhere. It says Harley Benton Progressive Series. Now let's. Ooh, wow, that is a very thin neck up top here, and the shape of this neck, Harley Benton claims it's a D, but It's definitely a thin C, so keep that in mind. It's not, in my opinion, it's not a C shape, but it is got a little bit different of a, not that the radius is different, but the fretboard is very thin up top, and 20 fret, just making sure. 20 fret, mahogany body, mahogany neck, and man, at least on the front, there's no blemishes. This is absolutely gorgeous. That black nickel hardware, you have to see that in real life. Should have a push-pull, yes, push-pull pot. So we have, this is a main volume, two-tone, push-pull, split coil, Roswell pickups, set neck, and it does have the raised lip in the center, which is great if you've ever used these before. And to my surprise, it has really nice strap buttons that are will give you a very positive lock right there instead of those bell-shaped ones. I'm liking this neck. It feels really good in the hands. I wouldn't call it a C. Or I'm sorry, I wouldn't call it a D. It's definitely a C, but it's got a nice feel to it. I'd say it's a... And it's almost in tune, too, so that's pretty cool. Nice pick guard. The plastic is still on it. The frets are superb. Very nice frets. Wow. So let's look at the back. I'm looking for a blemish. Why would this thing be B-stock? Because I am not seeing anything wrong with this base. And yes, it is active. We'll have to get a battery in there, I'm sure. There's not a scratch on this base. And let's check, and maybe it's an action issue that they had. Well, if it's an action issue, I don't see any myself. And then we have our battery compartment. Oh, we got a battery in it. Look at this, Thomann Alkaline. They have their own battery brand, which is quite interesting. That is very cool. Let me get you in there. Isn't that cool? Their own battery brand. Here's your battery box. Feels very stable. Positive click. The plastic is still on the cover on the back. That's a beautiful, beautiful bass guitar. Very, very nice. D'Addario strings. Let you see that there. Very nice. Really nice action. This is a sexy, sexy bass guitar. So let's talk about this for a minute. I haven't plugged it in yet, but let's talk about it. So we have obviously an ebony fretboard, which in saying ebony as it is a dark wood. So it is definitely, it's not rosewood, it is a ebony fretboard. 2 Roswell mini humbuckers, and they're a GB4, I believe. And then we have your active electronics with the 1 push-pull and your 2 tones, 1 volume, I believe. Yep. Then we have, they're saying a D profile neck. Now, I'm not seeing it, guys. I'm seeing a C, but I will tell you this, it's not your normal C. It is a thin C, so we could say modern C, although with the neck of this thing, it just comes off a bit differently. Black, nickel, DLX hardware. They advertise it as black, but this is definitely nickel, and it is gorgeous if you guys are familiar with black nickel. Just a whole different level. It is a 3-point bridge. A lot of people hate these bridges. I dig them. I think they're cool. They're very retro, and obviously it's set up, so that right there proves itself right there. Then we have 45 to 105 D'Addario strings. The scale of this is 864 millimeters. So it is a long scale bass, and depending on how you play this thing, whether you're over on this leg or over on this leg, could give you a big reach. But if it was hanging on you, I guess it would be here. It's a cool feeling bass. A lot of people don't like to sit down with this. I can see where this would be very I could see where it would be very, very comfortable. And the nut width is 38 millimeters. It's kind of thin up there. That's pretty cool. The nut's cut really nice too. Very nice. This is called a vintage burst, and according to Thomann Music, they say that this bass is perfect for studio recording. That's what they boast on it. They said the sound is great and gives you that cool rock and roll vibe, and it's great for studio recording. Now, this bass brand new is $169. You're going to have to figure in around $70, $71 to get that to your door if you live here in the States, and shipping, which is pretty reasonable actually, because it costs me that to ship a bass guitar with decent packaging to anybody here in the United States through companies like Reverb, and that's with a shipping discount. So keep that in mind. That's not bad, but I didn't pay that for this bass guitar. This bass guitar was $136 B stock. Why was it B stock? I don't know. Maybe it had an electronic issue or a wire off and they fixed it. I don't know. But as far as cosmetic defects, I do not see a one defect anywhere, and being mostly black on the outside, you'd catch that really quick. There's no gouges, there's no chips. It is beautiful. The hardware is superb, and this Harley Benton right here at $136 plus $70 to ship it is a total bargain. And if you guys have ever seen like the Epiphone Thunderbird, one thing you're not getting with the Epiphone, you're not getting that cool reverse headstock. And that's my favorite part of this bass, is that cool reverse headstock. Well, and that vintage burst on this too. It's very classic looking. And personally, this appeals to me more. So very, very cool. Let's get around, plug this thing in, and see if it thumps. And I'll give you my final opinions in a second. Stay right there. And so there you have it, Harley Benton Thunderbird style bass. Keep in mind that was running directly into the audio interface, just simple, exact tones of the bass. So no distortions, no compression, no nothing. So this is what this bass will sound like out of the box and plugged into your interface. We didn't use a bass amp. We didn't do anything. So the tones you are hearing from this bass are, well, what you're going to get. I think it's outstanding. I think that's the best way to test a bass, to see, well, what do you got? What's your bass line? Pardon the pun. So anyhow, this black nickel hardware is to die for. I mean, it's great. It's set up nice. It plays nice. It feels nice. There's a long reach for this bass. It's got great action. Things that I think this would benefit from, I think some flat wounds would really do this bass wonders. And I think, of course that's subjective, but I think I'm going to run some flat wounds on it, even though these strings do sound good. Another thing you want to keep in mind, if you're shopping for this style bass, and we did mention the Thunderbird bass, there's differences, and, well, this looks really good. I can tell you from experience, after playing a Epiphone Thunderbird, that I wasn't very impressed with the tone like I am with this one. And another thing, it had a bolt-on neck, where this is a set-in neck. These are active electronics, reverse headstock. It's not black hardware, it's black nickel hardware. I think you're getting a lot more bang for the buck with this bass than you are with the Epiphone. Not that the Epiphone's not good, but I think this is a superior bass, and it's I say a fraction of the cost. It's a lot less expensive, and I think you'd be very pleased with this. Now they also make this in a black version, so if you want to check them out, head on over to Thomann Music and check out this bass guitar. I don't think you can go wrong, and a lot of people aren't into this Thunderbird style. For a long time I wasn't, but man, I think it's kind of sexy now, and that vintage burst, and I'm not a burst guy. This looks good on this bass. I think we'll do some upgrading, and the only thing I'm going to do to upgrade is we're going to put gold screws in the plates, and change the strap lock buttons, or the buttons, to some strap lock buttons that are in gold. That's about it. That's probably all I'm going to do to this. I think I'm going to enjoy this for a while, especially since I got rid of my Rickenbacker style bass. So thanks for watching Fulton Street Beats. I apologize for the audio on this last part. This is done quickly, kind of hindsight. And if you could, hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And remember, everybody, it's rock and roll that makes the world go round. Thanks for watching.